What's up, everybody? It's your girl, the K-pop cougar, Rao, and welcome back finally to my channel. So, as you can tell from the title of this video, your bitch did a thing. You are probably wondering where I am because my surroundings might look a little different than what you're used to of my room back in good old Beham, Alabama. So the title is not clickbait at all. Your girl is currently in quarantine in Seoul, Korea, because I moved to Korea for a job opportunity to teach. And so that is why your girl has been real MIA and real sketch on her channel. Besides my work schedule, is I was doing so much in preparation for my move here. I am a teacher in the EPIC program. So I am going to do a separate video from this about how this all came to be, and if anybody has questions about how I did this whole process, I'm going to configure all of that once I'm settled and all stuff like that. And I will give y'all more information about how I got to Korea. But this video is just basically for me to hop on so y'all can see my face, me let you know why your girl has been sketch AF on my channel, and just kind of give you an update of where everything is now. So I actually left from Birmingham last week on Thursday the 4th. I had to fly to Seattle, Washington, because that's where I was flying out from for Korea. I flew to Seattle, Washington because now with a lot of the COVID strains that are going around, Korea required you to have a negative COVID test result within 72 hours of you departing to come to Korea. So Seattle's airport has a partnership with their health department where you can get tested at the airport. So and it's next day results. So I flew to Seattle that Thursday on the 4th of February. And I got there about 12:30 in the afternoon. Had to figure out how to get from one end literally of their airport to the other. Had to get on a train and all that with all of my stuff. That's an adventure as well. I'll get into that in a minute. And make my way to go take this COVID test. Once I was done with that, I was able to get an Uber to go to my hotel. I stayed at the Country Inn Radisson. It was actually a really nice hotel. You can tell that they just remodeled it or something, but that bed was so close to the airport. It literally, I don't even think that hotel was 10 minutes away from the airport. So stayed there for 2 days, and then Saturday the 6th at 10:40 I left from Seattle and flew 12 hours to Korea on Korean Air. Lovely airline. So I'll insert pictures of anything that I kind of took. I'm not used to vlogging. I know I've done or said I've done travel vlogs in the past, and I really haven't posted those. We'll see. But I do plan on trying to change that, but just wanted to give you a little info of how I got here. So we arrived on Sunday the 7th, February 7th, at like almost 4 p.m. here. And the first thing that you do when you arrive, once you get off the plane, is there's like an area for foreign arrivals. And again, I'll insert a little bit of the video that I did here. I was kind of worried about recording while I was at the airport because I don't know what all was like official and what was not something that they would allow recording for. So I didn't really get that much footage at all. At the airport, I just basically show where you first go when you arrive. So there's 4 forms that you get on the airplane. There was a health declaration form, a travel declaration form, an arrival form, And there was one more, I can't remember what that fourth form was, but it was basically asking like where were you staying when you were here, obviously asking you different COVID questions, things that you might have symptoms, anything like that. And so when you first arrive, that first station, they go over the health declaration form to make sure that you don't have any symptoms or anything like that. They check your negative COVID test again, and then they take your temperature. This was an extremely important step of, you need to make sure that you are as cool as possible. We were all standing in line like fanning ourselves because it was hot, because where we had to walk from the plane to that area was not a short distance. It was a little warm in the airport, but we were all trying to cool down, because if your temperature was slightly too high, you do not pass go. You do not collect $200. They will probably test your temperature again, but if not, you get set in these little cubicles and they test you for COVID at the airport, and you're not allowed to leave until you get those results. So we were like, oh my God, please let my temperature be fine. But luckily I passed that part. And so once you get past that part, actually I can probably show you. Okay, so yeah, so once you get past this part, he first gives you this little form right here, and he was like, this form, study it. And I was just like, okay. And then they give you a health screening certificate, just basically letting you know that, you know, your temperature was fine, and you've passed this portion. So once you get past there, you go to another station where it's some guys that are there, because there's a quarantine app that you have to download, that you have to submit your temperature and your symptoms to twice a day. So there's a couple of guys that are standing there to help people to download this app and input their information. There's like an official code that they have to put in as well. And once you have that set up, then you go to another station where they check your COVID test one more time, go over the information of where you're quarantining in Korea. They check the phone number of, you know, the quarantine information, so that if you need to be contacted, that is a working number. And once you do that, then there was this form that they give you, just saying that they did verify that you came into the country with a negative PCR test, and that, you know, you were good to go. So once you do that part and you've gone through all the COVID stations, then right after that, that's when you go through immigration, where you have to give them like your travel declaration form. They check your passport again, where you're staying for quarantine here in Korea, and I think that was all. She gave me like this little slip, I think, that I had, that she said I was going to need for downstairs, but no one ever asked for it. But you can like literally see like right behind this that you've made it once you got through this point. It sounds like a lot, but it's so efficient how they do it. It doesn't take long. You feel like you go like boom 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 through each station, even though it did take maybe like, I think it took maybe like 45 minutes to go through all of it, but most of that was just, obviously it was a bunch of us arrived at the same time, and so just waiting for the person in front of you. But they go pretty quickly with each person, and so once you go through that immigration, there's like another person for immigration that you go to, and they're just once again just checking your forms. I think one final time you have to put your index fingers on this little machine, as well as it takes your picture. I was a hot, sweaty mess. We all looked like we had been through it at this point, so all of those pictures were like terrible. But once you get through that part, you're free to go through, and literally once you go out those doors, you go downstairs and baggage claim is right there. So we were all down there, we're getting our bags. So like I said, I'm here with the program Epic. So there's 2 locations that we were split up to go to quarantine. Some of us went to Seoul and some people went to Cheonju. For the people who were in Seoul, we had to find our own transportation and a quarantine approved taxi to come to our quarantine facility. The people who were quarantining in Cheonju, they were provided bus transportation there. So that was super simple as well. So like I said, once we got downstairs and we were getting our bags, it was so funny. Me and this one other girl, we both had a bag that had this like huge yellow lock on it, and it was like a blaring alarm on this lock, and we were both just like, what is this? And so I went over to the little lost baggage thing, and I was asking the lady about it, and so she was like, oh, you go over there. And I was just like, okay. So she was like, you want me to go with you? And I was like, yeah. She's like, yeah, let's go together. So we walked over there, and so they took the alarm off, and so I don't know what was in my bag. Whatever it was, it x-rayed something. I guess it was like I had contraband or something I wasn't supposed to have. And so they were like, can you open your bag? And I was like, sure. And so I opened my bag, and so she was looking through it. And so her and the girl, they kept looking at the x-ray, and they was like going through different stuff in my bags. I guess whatever the x-ray was showing, they weren't finding in my bag. And so she kept looking. So then they called like this supervisor lady over, and so the lady was just like, we x-ray. And I was just like, okay, dude, do your job, ma'am, do your job. So they had to like take my bag to this other area and like x-ray it. And so they kept looking at it, and they kept looking at it, and I guess they were like, it was like, no, that's fine. So whatever was in my bag that was showing up on the x-ray, they was just like, nah, she's fine. So she was like, all right, thank you, and I was like, thank you. And so that's when I zipped my bag back up, and me and the girl, we left out. And as soon as you like leave out, there was like some other guys that was standing there. I can't remember what we had to do with them. When I say all of this is like now a blur to me, but there was like these last dudes. I think they were asking like, where were you going? And you had to tell them, and then once you told them from there where you go, they put like this little dot sticker on you, and he was like, there you go. And I was just like, thanks. And so that meant I was free to go. And so since I was going to Seoul, he directed me to the area where the quarantine approved taxis are. And so there was like a guy there, and so he was just like, where are you going? I was like, Seoul. And he was like, which car do you want? And so there's like a menu that you can look at. So I'm looking at the menu, and then I look at all my bags, and I was like, what fits all of this? And he was like, you can pretty much get anything. And I was just like, okay, so let's go with the medium-sized taxi then. So he turned around to this dude, and this Ajashi, and he was like, come on, she good. And so my boy jumped up, because it was like Ajashi's in waiting behind him. And so that's when the guy jumps up, and so he was like, I grabbed the cart, you grab your bags, let's go. So I was just like, okay, let's go. So Grampy takes off flying down the airport, and I'm just like, why is he walking so fast, sir? I am tired. But he was like, we have to go to this end first, and then we come back. And I was just like, okay. So I'm just following this dude through the airport. So what he took me to was, it was like, I think this area about the quarantine taxis where they like set the price. And so the guy asked me like where I was going, and I showed him, and so that's when he gave me this to show like how much I had to pay for the taxi. It was 90,000 won, which we were pre-warned about how much it was going to be for the taxi, so I wasn't like 90,000. So I already knew how much it was going to be, so that wasn't a shocker to me. So anyway, so once we got that, we went walking back, and luckily the guy's taxi was like right outside. We just had to kind of like walk across the little pedestrian thing, and my boy got all of my bags into his car. Now keep in mind, I don't know if y'all can see this, but I have 2 large suitcases, a medium-sized suitcase, I have this big ass like black duffel, and please don't mind my laundry, but I have this like carry-on as well. So I had 5 bags. So he got my 2 large suitcases some type of way in his trunk. He set my black bag and my carry-on in the back seat with me, and he put my medium-sized bag in the front seat with him, and we were well on our way. I got the true Korean taxi experience, because my guy said, I'm gonna get you there quick, fast, in a hurry, bali bali. Okay, so we were flying on the freeway. There was really pretty scenery. Again, the few little videos that I did take of like the buildings and the water that I saw on the way here from Incheon, it was really pretty. Plus it was like starting to be nighttime by the time I got here. Like I said, by now it's like almost 6 o'clock, and I think he said it was like an hour and 10 minutes away, and I was like, cool, I'm just gonna sit back here and chill. But he was flying on the freeway, but my boy got me here no mishaps, but oh Jesus. So we get to the location where I am in Seoul. I guess for security purposes I won't stay where I'm quarantining in Seoul, but it's in Seoul. And so the program is, like I said, it's a bunch of us here at this particular quarantine. So when we got here, we all basically got here around the same time, because we were all on the same flight. Well, a bunch of different flights. So it was like checking in. It felt like checking into like camp. That's what it felt like. And so once you first got in, it was like all of our luggage was just like at a whole CF at the bottom in the lobby. And so they were like trying to like shuffle and move our luggage around so that we could all get in, because it was nighttime by now and it was getting cold in that lobby with the door being open. And so they did our temperature when we first got there. There was like 2 forms that we had to fill out. One was like consent to quarantine. The other one again was questions about COVID. And once you did that, you went and stood in another line at this next table where they input our information. It was basically like check-in. They input our information from our passport and all of that. And so once we did that, we turned in the 2 forms we signed, and they gave us like a packet about quarantine, as well as our room key. And so once we did that, there was another guy. He was really nice. He kind of just told you the information of the quarantine app that they gave you at the airport. Delete that, and then you're gonna download the app for our quarantine. And we were just like, okay, if that's what we must. So we did that. So once we did that, there was like a guy. It was like a whole assembly line. They efficient, okay, efficient. And so there was like a guy that was standing there, had this huge box. So he gave you like your dinner on top of your suitcases. And then there was like another guy by the elevator who would like get the elevator for you and like shuffle all of your shit into the elevator and send you on your way. And so came up here, like I said, it was quite a few of us that was going into our rooms. Like I said, it felt like checking into camp and not quarantine. But came in, and this is where I've been since Sunday the 7th. So I'm basically on day 2. Yeah, I'm on day 2. And is it day 2? Yes, I'm on day 2. Jesus, that's so sad. Of quarantine. It's been an adventure with the food. I actually have my dinner, so that's a funny story as well. So I probably should have recorded this before I started eating it, but Korea is trying to kill me. So we signed up for vegetarian meals. This is not vegetarian, but to Koreans, like certain meats and seafood is not considered meat to them. Like spam is not meat to them, and certain seafood is not meat. So this is possibly a vegetarian meal to them. So really the only thing on this plate that I can really eat is the fruit, which I've done. I think someone said that's a rice cake. And then this is like a vegetarian spring roll. Possibly this salad. So this is kimbap. It has crab in it. She can't eat that. And I don't know what this soup is, but it's spicy AF. For breakfast? Come on, Korea. But anyway, but I love the presentation. But anyway, I just thought I'd pop on and tell you that. Bye. So I have a shellfish allergy. And so we were given the option of regular meals or vegetarian meals. So because of my shellfish allergy, I know that seafood is very big in Korean dinners or in Korean food in general. So until I can learn more about traditional Korean food, I thought it would be better for me to select vegetarian meals so that I wouldn't possibly get seafood. It's been pretty much seafood in everything that I've gotten, because one of the girls is in like a cacao group that I'm in. She's been here before and she was like, oh, because she's vegan, so she's been struggling too. And some of the Muslim applicants have been struggling as well, because we've been getting whatever meat that they decided. But sometimes it doesn't have meat, but it'll have seafood, because to them seafood isn't meat apparently. So I should have just sprung for regular meals. So the food has kind of been a struggle. I feel really bad that a lot of times I end up throwing most of my food away because I can't eat it, because it's literally like shrimp and crab, and I just feel so terrible. So yeah, so that is basically this video. I'll give you a quick little, I guess, room tour, kind of. I don't know, whatever. It's as organized as it's gonna be for me being here for 2 days and being tired. I'm not as jet lagged as I thought I was gonna be, thank God. But yeah, just being tired, and I haven't gotten bored yet, so that's good. So I have stuff that I have to do as far as like orientation stuff. There's like Korean lessons we have to do. Other than that, just been watching YouTube. I am going to do reactions while I'm in quarantine, so please stay tuned for those. Also, my last announcement that I'm going to do before I take you on a room tour is I'm going to start a separate channel for my life here in Korea. So I do want to do something that's completely separate of my of my reactions, because there might be people who are here or would be interested in life in Korea, but they are not all about the K-pop. So I do want to separate that from each other. So I am going to have a separate channel for my life in Korea. Any traveling that I do in Korea, all of that is going to be over on that channel. I just haven't figured out a name for it. I don't want it to be anything cheesy. It's like, I know that my name on here, I refer to myself as the K-pop cougar, but I don't really want my second channel to have anything to do with K-pop, so I wouldn't want that to be in the name of it. Plus I just feel like cougar in Korea, that sounds slightly NC-17. Like, I don't want that type of name. So I don't know what is going to be the title of my second channel. So if y'all have any suggestions, leave it in the comments below and we'll see what comes from that. It might be one of those things that kind of, you know, strikes my fancy. I do like play on words, so I'm gonna see what I possibly come up with. But yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna do a separate channel that's going to be about my life here in Korea, any traveling that I do in Korea, stuff that I just do around, like if I go to cafes, and just my life basically, like I said. So please support and stay tuned for that. I'll try to even include some videos about my epic experience once we get out of quarantine, because we are in quarantine until the 21st, and then from there we go to orientation for about a week, and then after orientation is when we go to, as my mother would say, my forever home. My mother we keep calling it my forever home, like I'm a rescue pet. But anyway, so yeah, but then after that we go to our forever homes. So I'll give you more information later on about where I will be permanently while I'm placed here in South Korea. This is a very surreal experience. It took a lot for me to get here. This has been over a year in the making. Like I said in my separate video where I'll go more in detail about me being here in Korea and how this came to be, I'll kind of tell you everything that I went through on this journey. So yeah, so I'm excited. I hope you're excited with me and happy. And like I said, while I'm here in quarantine, I am going to catch up on hella reactions that I'm behind on. So please stay tuned for those. But I hope you'll be interested in my life here as well in Korea. So stay tuned for that. So real quick, I'm going to show you around my room and kind of some of the stuff that they gave us. And then, yeah, I've rambled sufficiently enough. So first thing is, like I said, this is the room that I'm in. The on-door floors, baby. Yes, God. So obviously that's the bed. They gave us bedding, but obviously that will stay here. I'm gonna flip you guys around so I can kind of show you what else. So that's my laptop. This is my dinner. We'll see what's in there. So they gave us these like huge bottles of water. I don't drink water like that, so baby, we're gonna see if I even get through those. The room had like a little refrigerator in it, and for breakfast every morning they've been giving us like milk with our breakfast, so I've been like saving the milk. Since we knew we were going to be in quarantine for a while and we weren't really sure about the food, I bought like hella snacks of stuff I knew I wanted to get here. So this is like full of chips and crackers, and then this is like Nutri-Grain bars and cookies. But they actually gave us so ramen, different types of ramen. I think this is beef, and I think someone said that was like a veggie ramen. They gave us cereal, so in case again the breakfasts are sketch, which I haven't really been able to eat the breakfast because it has seafood in it. They gave us cereal. They gave us these little coffees, and then this was like body stuff. So there's like a loofah in it. There's like shampoo and conditioner. There's body wash. There was a facial wash in it. I think toothbrush and a toothpaste right there. So this is really nice. They gave us this really cool like Starbucks bag, and it came with this nice little cup, so we can use that for the coffee they gave us, or if you want to eat cereal. Thermometer for our daily checks that we have to do. They gave us face mask, and what else they gave us? They gave us this cute little electric kettle. They gave us like this huge box of like towels, you know, the baby towels that everything tells you about Korea. So they gave us this box of towels, toilet paper. So this is the room. Obviously that's the door that I'm not allowed to go out of. My shoes, and then this is just the bathroom. So yeah, excuse my quarantine attire, but yeah. So the whole wet bathroom thing is not as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but yeah. So and then they also gave us shower shoes, and they gave us slippers for the room. So yeah, excuse my attire, but yeah, so that's it. This is my life in Korea so far. So that is all for this video. This was a little bit longer than I intended it to be. I just wanted to be a quick video about this is why I've been MIA, and my little announcement that wasn't, it was a little more lackluster than I intended it to be. Chalked it up to the jet lag. But anyway, so yeah, so that is it for this video. Stay tuned for everything else that comes later. And yeah, I've rambled enough. I don't really know how to end this since this isn't reaction, so I guess if you have any questions, leave it off in the comments. Please leave me any good vibes, well wishes, blessings, anything like that. You can leave those in the comments as well. They will be greatly appreciated. And yeah, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Please subscribe because I want friends and lots of friends, and click the bell so you know when I upload my shit. And until next time, I'm your girl, the K-pop cougar. Peace. Bye you guys.